You will either resign as the chairman of Azimio la Umoja, but you also have a choice to work with William Ruto, or otherwise, if you still hang around without hanging your political boots, then you risk losing your retirement benefits. Those are the options that have been laid on table for former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. But in this video, I want to take you through the new twist as far as that development, or rather as far as that move is concerned. I want to first ask you with total humility that kindly subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. I know that we try to make our analysis make you think. So if you can have critical thinking, time to think, like about it, then this is the analysis. This is the channel you need to subscribe in. I know many people start asking, by the Kevin, nimesikia nikaona nikafikiria hiyo line. So we always want to provoke your thoughts so that you come out of the box. Let me take you through events of 10th to, I think 16th, 10th to 14th February. On 10th, Friday last week, a group of, or rather national executive members, a section, met in Sarava Hotel in Nakuru. That meeting, there was mobilization of the NEC members, Zoya, who flew all the way from Mombasa, from Kilifi, I think. Then we had Kutuny, Deputy Secretary General, who stays in Trans Nzoia, and the other members. And Nyamai, who is a member of parliament, I think from Kitui South, if I'm not wrong. I think it's one of the Kitui constituencies, but it's from Kitui. She's from Kitui County, to meet in Nakuru. And in that meeting that lasted for 1 hour, resolutions were made there on Kanini Kega becoming Secretary General, and Kenan becoming Vice Chair, the position that David Mrathe was holding, and also Gishu, someone was also replacing the Treasurer, with an interim discussion of Sabina Chege becoming the party leader of Jubilee. And some people walked out of that meeting. That is what was reported. It looked like a dummy move without concrete, maybe move. On Monday, the Deputy Secretary General, that is Kutuny, sent a letter to the office of ORPP. On Tuesday, the ORPP, by the very Monday evening, ORPP had responded, and Tuesday, the interim leadership, the interim leaders of Jubilee Party led by Kanini Kega, stormed Jubilee offices. Then on Wednesday, Raila Odinga team, or rather Jeremiah Kioni team, challenged it. The very Tuesday, they challenged it in the morning. By evening, ORPP responded telling Jeremiah Kioni that the ouster was legal. Then they went to ORPP, and on Thursday, there were stay orders, and Jeremiah Kioni and the team went back to Jubilee headquarters, escorted by the Azimio ranks and file. Now, I was giving you that to see quick succession events, the way things happened very fast. Now, what is emerging now is that the purported Jubilee takeover was aimed at pushing former President Uhuru Kenyatta to dump Raila for William Ruto. Because first, they know that at the apex, he's the party leader, but the messaging, or rather the target was not, and we were asking about whether they would have wanted the party or not. I was reading this article, I think it's in the Star. Yeah. The perception of leaders dumping the party was targeting Uhuru Kenyatta, and they were telling Uhuru Kenyatta that we want to join William Ruto, and we want you to join in with us. A well-orchestrated strategy, as that was going on, or even through meetings of this Jubilee wing, Uhuru Kenyatta was going through troubles from the Sun regime and even the Matiangis. So it was already a signal that we are moving, but you're remaining alone, and as even if you are remaining alone, the troubles are still going on. And so I wonder, according to what Kutuny is putting out here, is that Uhuru Kenyatta, by law, is not supposed to hold any political party position, by law. But UDA seems to be giving him a window to work with them in government so that he enjoys his retirement benefits, which are in the Constitution, which is in the Constitution, and is entitled to it. Is entitled to it. So, in what capacity does Uhuru works with UDA as the party leader of Jubilee if he is supposed to resign? Doublespeak. This script was laid bare, and Uhuru, William Ruto's deep state, seems to be pushing a move to snatch Uhuru Kenyatta away from Raila Odinga so that he can work with them. But there are a bit of, I was just asking myself, how do Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega camp benefit if William Ruto successfully drags Uhuru Kenyatta on his side? To some extent, they are the losers. As much as they can say he's softening the ground, but Uhuru Kenyatta will receive, will have the front seat. And will Uhuru take that move? From where I'm seated, I don't see. It's an attempt in futility. As things go now, there is nothing wrong, and it is not evil, or it's not unethical for now UDA to have a standby opposition. There's nothing wrong with that. We've been made, I think the public have been made to see that when we have an opposition, it's wrong. There is nothing wrong with that. Kindly subscribe to our channel, guys. Now, why do you think Ruto will pull, will be behind, will then be looking for Uhuru Kenyatta? Why did he make a U-turn and would want to work with a man that he believes was against his candidature? It's a long script to contain Raila Odinga. In 2027, Raila will be 82 years old. I don't think by natural law, I don't know why I say natural law, but maybe I don't think he will be on the ballot. But the way he's pushing with the rallies, which many are calling mandamanos, as you call them mandamanos, but the population is listening. That's it. The population doesn't see that mandamano, they see rallies and they get the messaging. They are not seeing those mandamanos. So mandamanos, that thing of demonizing it, mandamanos, I think for me, it doesn't hold in water. Now, it's a long script to contain Raila and by extension Azimio. Because President Ruto have realized that these guys are unrelenting. They are not really giving up. And initially, when I look at it, I think Ruto was stuck in a narrative that Raila is pushing for a handshake. But as things go, I don't see the handshake thing. Because if Raila would be pushing for a handshake and Kosha is on a boycott, people would have gone to the street anyway. Now, how are rallies going to push him to a handshake? That tells you that Raila is not going for the handshake. In fact, the handshake narrative was being pardoned, was being hawked just to contain Raila Odinga's messaging. The other thing why William Ruto would make a U-turn to go to Uhuru, it is just a strategy for the central. It has to do with the central Kenya vote. And it would detonate Rigathi Gachagwa's Powerball and delay the kingpinship. I can tell you. So if Uhuru today embraces William Ruto, where is Rigathi? And that's an impossibility. It's the deep state, William Ruto's deep state, will actually push that. And that will be a section that wants to neutralize Rigathi. Then that person will be, what will that section will be? That will be the Mudavadi camp. Mudavadi has been so diplomatic. He has been so diplomatic even when dealing with issues, trying to respond to former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I see that as a possibility, the issue of the kingpinship. Uhuru has the international networks that really will be of benefit to William Ruto's reign, but I think Ruto will execute a revisit scheme successfully on Uhuru's men if he drags Uhuru Kenyatta. And that's why I will say it's a tall order. I know interests remains the same. So long as there is convergence of interests, it can always work. There is a columnist who is saying that any truce between Ruto and Uhuru will not be political, but will be business. I liked that part because it was actually, he was simply saying that it can only, the only thing that can bring political truce, not political truce, but a truce between the two, is convergence of business interests. So when this is a discussion, and really what Sabina, Kega, and the rest are executing is not about even them, is also a strategy to drag Uhuru Kenyatta to William Ruto's side. And William Ruto is making that move, that U-turn, to try to trap Uhuru back, because he also knows very well that the Mount Kenya vote really came because of anti-Uhuru venom. Now that is lacking in 2027, and I know that, I don't know whether then they are supposed to be told to wake up to vote out Raila again. But the narrative is changing, and Ruto would actually want to pinch, or rather to campaign on a unity platform. That's what I can see from where I'm seated here. Let's meet tomorrow in our next video on Saturday.